to the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975. Adequate notice of the meeting has been given by publishing notice in the record. Furthermore, notice was posted in the Borough of the Ridgefield Municipal Building.
Mayor Jimenez, Councilman Raimondo,
Here.
Councilman Rowe,
Here.
Councilman Collins from Haley,
Here.
Councilwoman Kim,
Here.
Councilman Jafar,
Here.
Councilman Martucci.
Here.
I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just remain standing for a moment of silence from anybody that passed away since our last meeting. You can be seated. Any public comments?
So this is the only public comments for today?
Yes, this will be the only public comments.
You got a hand up.
Yes, Lily?
Yeah, up right up.
Sheila Hoffman, 823 Linden Avenue, Ridgefield, New Jersey. I have three separate areas. The first one is on the agenda tonight. You're talking about the parking permit fees. And I would like to strongly voice my objection to $10 per car. Perhaps $10 a household is more reasonable. When the system was instituted several years ago, part of the pitch to the public was it was going to be self-sustaining. Obviously, that's not the case. I've spoken with Chief Sheridan, and I understand the reasoning. Doesn't make it any easier at $10 a car. Secondly, I saw on Facebook we got the $600,000 grant, but I did not see in the agenda the bid to go out for the roof of the community center. And I just want to keep that everybody's forefront and attention on it, because we don't want black mold to build in the community center like it did at the library. And last but not least, there was another ordinance about parking in front of the high school. While I understand the need for it, I just think we should maybe be a little more consistent with our parking fines. If it's $48 for a permit, maybe it should be $48 for opposite side of the street as well, just that it's consistent.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Anne Marie Carrier. I live at 737 Lancaster Road. I just wanted to make a couple concerns about the playground area. I want to start by saying thank you. The town does a great job providing activity and spaces for the kids. It means a lot to my family. I have grandchildren ages 2 and 5, and we're at the playground often. First is playground safety. I love the playground has the rubber surface. It's great for the kids. But I've noticed scooters and bikes are being used at the same space. There might be signs, I'm not sure. But yesterday, a child on a scooter accidentally ran into my 2-year-old granddaughter, and she's got scrapes on her knees, and thankfully that was all that happened, that it could have been worse, and it wasn't. I noticed there are signs, but it's not effective. More needs to be done, I think, to keep the wheeled toys separate from the children playing in the playground, I feel. And I also wanted to mention the summer playground access. During the summer, the playground is closed from 9 to 3 for the recreation department, and I understand that. And the program is very important. My grandchildren don't go because we go away a lot in the summer, and we take them to the pool and other things. But it's difficult. We pay taxes, and we can't go during those hours. We go to swim lessons that are over 11. We can't go to the park, and they see their friends in there. And we can't go in. And it's like almost the whole summer. They see the other kids there. So maybe there's something that we could figure out, to work out, that the town children and the children that are paying to go to recreation, that we can try to use it together somehow.
Time is up, but we're gonna take note.
Okay, and the last thing, there's notice in the recreation program, there really aren't any programs for children under 4, there used to be. I used to take my grandson, he went to the toddler programs like gymnastics and things. Right now, it's just a soccer program for 4-year-olds, and nothing under the age, so maybe going forward, we could offer something to the younger children again, because that was really great, and he really enjoyed it and still talks about it. So, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Good evening, Rich Birdie, 381 Oak Street. About 2 weeks ago, my tenant had a nasty fall on Oak Street and the corner of Oak Street and Hamilton Avenue. I just wanted to, on her behalf as well as myself, I wanted to commend Sergeant O'Brien and Police Officer William Pitch. They came to the scene so quickly. They were respectful, they were courteous, they stayed with her the entire time, and compassionate. And I just wanted, I'm gonna write a letter to Police Chief Gallagher, but I wanted the mayor and council to be aware of the fact that our police responded within seconds of the fall, and just really reassured. She suffered a fractured ankle and has a small brain bleed. So she was disoriented, and the police were phenomenal in taking care of her until the paramedics put her into the ambulance. So I just wanted to commend them for doing a job above and beyond. Thank you.
How's she doing?
She's in rehab now. The brain bleed is under control. It's a small one, and so from what I understand, and I'm not a doctor, but if it's lower in the brain, it's easier for it to sort of dissipate. So she's okay there. She's just in rehab for 6 weeks. But
Send her our regards.
I will.
And if you could please keep us updated somehow on that,
I will.
her status, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Was the fall on Hamilton and Oak, you said?
It was Oak Street and Hamilton Avenue, right on the corner, and she hit her head on the curb, not the street, so that's a little bit more, a little tougher. If you fall on the asphalt, it's not great, but the curb, but she's doing better, and I just wanted all of you to know. Thank you.
Debbie?
Warren, you go before me.
Sure.
Absolutely.
We're fine, 3 minutes are almost up.
Oh, man, hello. Hi, Warren Vincent. If I understand this correctly tonight, this is it for comments.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
It is beyond my comprehension, and certainly not the way I conducted myself as a councilman, but beyond my comprehension, why this mayor and council does not want to hear from the public, does not want to follow the old procedure of when you opened it up on the agenda, then there was comments on the second reading of ordinances, and then at the end, general comments. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to hear from the public, you may be disappointed when you do finally hear from the public. Thank you. So
Debbie?
folks, for you to understand, this is it. Anything you want to say about anything on the agenda, it's now. Everybody understands.
No, or anything in general.
Anything
Agenda
in general, I'm sorry.
Debbie Fignetti, 602 Elm Avenue. Warren, I commend you, and there's only one change on the mayor and council that I can see. Why I served on the Board of Education. There were nights that we didn't get home until 2 or 3 in the morning, and we stayed there. As volunteers, we stayed there to hear the public and to do what we needed to do. I've listened to people that came to my doorstep and told me, come talk to me. Well, this is where I should talk to you. So why are you closing us down? As far as the summer camp, I ran it for 20 years. Gino's children, stepchildren were there, Joanna's children were there. Chris was there with me working and as a kid. Colin's kids were there. The reason that the playground is closed for the public is security reasons. Anne Marie, all due respect, if we had it open during the summer, I won't be there this summer, but I was known as, everyone can tell you, as the tyrant of the park. I will have kids, or they will have kids, riding scooters through the playground while we have children in there. I limit, Chris could tell you, I limit when it's only kindergarten, first and second graders, because I will not let fifth and sixth graders run around when it's open. If we open it to the public, we have to open it to everyone, which means we're gonna have the school special ed program in there, which you have large adults in the special ed program. We did it for safety reasons, and I commend Ray for sticking to it. It's not easy to run a summer camp. It's not easy to work the summer and be in there with the playground, but anything we do there is for the safety of children. It's 6 weeks. After the 6 weeks, it's open, and I can tell you this, it's very depressing for me to walk through the park after the 6 weeks and see no one in the park. No one in the park, no one in the playground. So, but please, consider giving us a chance to speak. We shouldn't have to call you, we shouldn't have to see you on the side. Give us back our 5 minutes before and our 5 minutes after. We did it for how many years? Why is there a change? It does not seem to make, it doesn't make sense. If you don't want to hear us, then just close it down. But I did it for years. And what you want to do is you want to hear us.
Yes.
Yes.
Carol Licata, 743 Lancaster Road. I have lived in this town since I'm 8 years old. I was here when Richfield was a prairie. Let me tell you, in all the years that I've lived here, this is the first time I'm hearing that nothing else is ever going to be open to the public. What kind of committee is this? And the other thing that really gets me, years ago when I was growing up, we were able to vote on different things. Now, you know when I hear it? When it's done behind closed doors and we don't get a chance to vote. And then all of a sudden it's done and that's when we hear it. As a resident, I'm very, very disappointed. But everyone who spoke tonight, I commend them because you people need to open your eyes and do it in a democratic way, and you're not doing it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Go ahead.
This ain't my first time up here. I feel like I'm I should run for president.
Okay, Carlin Kinley, 677 Edgewater Avenue. I understand this is the last. What happened to what the Constitution said? Be the people. Isn't that what it said? That means you have to listen to us. Don't take this away from us, okay? The second thing is, I heard the last time, I didn't make the last meeting because I was working, unfortunately. I'm one of the working people. I understand that there was a deficit in the pool or something. I haven't been to the pool in years, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. When I went over there many years ago, it was like a flea market. Avon products was being presented to me, Yardro products, Tupperware products. I think I went into that guy over there on the end with the Tupperware products. That's the reason why I don't go anymore, because it was a constant flea market of all kinds of products. I have a house, I don't need any products. I got lots of products, all kinds of lipstick and every designer handbag ever imagined. Thank you.
Bye.
Lisa Hoffman, 823 Linton Avenue. Obviously, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. People want to be able to speak. Most of the time, like 2 people get up. I really don't understand, but whatever. The second thing is, I think the biggest issue other than infrastructure issues, right? A roof, a building, the roads. Most of what people come up here and talk about is when a small group is treated or put above the rest. And then that's when you get people who are upset and, and rightfully so, right? So for example, the whole parking, wasn't necessarily that tenants were parking there, it's that when people wanted to go to the park, they couldn't get a parking space, right? That minority impacted the majority. I think what Anne Marie is kind of saying, and I also get Debbie's point, but it's taxpayer dollars, not the camp funds that run the park. When you have a little kid, they want to go and they want to play, and there's a small majority that's preventing them, or a small minority that's preventing the majority, and it is something that I get, I would say, 30 to 40 comments a year to my page. It's a big thing that people talk about. To Debbie's point, and I can understand you want it to be safe, it should always be safe, right? So if it's not safe during those 6 weeks, and those 6 weeks happen to be the prime 6 weeks, right? Like, let's acknowledge that. But if it's not safe during those 6 weeks, what can be done to make it safe all the time for all the kids, so it's not an issue? We don't want, whether it's skin knees or somebody getting injured more permanently, we just don't want that. So it seems like a small thing, but if we could fix it, I think it would go a long way.
Anybody else? Yes,
Greetings to one and all. My name is Nestor Delgado, 634 Shallot Boulevard, in the heavily fortified city of Ridgefield, New Jersey. Mayor Raimondo, I'm just putting it on for size. I just want to start out by saying that turmeric and black pepper is really good for swelling. Now, why the heck would I mention that? Because I just wanted to start out with an anti-inflammatory remark for a change.
Thank you.
And yet, human laws are based on the overarching divine law of love. We know this because everything that we consider a crime here on the earth is a violation of that law of love. And all our laws and everything that we do should be in harmony with that. So I'm going to read a couple of scriptures. I'm sure you all didn't think you were going to church today, but there you have it. This one comes from 1 John 4, verses 7 and 8. Beloved, let us love one another because love is of God. Everyone who loves is begotten by God and knows God. Whoever is without love does not know God, because God is love. That came from the New International Bible, which is a Catholic version. And I'm going to read from a Protestant version, the New International, which says that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So there isn't a single person in here who can cast a stone in any direction. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. That's from 1 Corinthians. Love never fails, verse 8. Folks, let's start applying these things to ourselves and everything that we do, behind closed doors and in the open and with each other. Anybody here perfect yet? Anybody here sinless? No? All right then. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nestor.
Anybody else? Okay. Close public session.
Motion?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any correspondence?
Mr. Council President, I have correspondence. On behalf of the Richfield Borough Athletic Organization, I have our Mayor and Council sponsorship plaque from our team from last year. I also wanted to send a special shout out to Mayor Hugo. As a mayor and council last year, we decided that we were all going to split the cost, but unfortunately that got a little lost in communication from one of our members, so Mayor Hugo actually stepped up and paid the deficit. So the fact that he's willing to step up and make sure that our team got what they needed was really appreciated. I know that a couple of us are working on this again for this year. Our new sign is going up in the outfield. Team Mayor and Council is actually at practice right now, so if we finish quickly, we could go watch them get ready for their first game this Saturday.
I also wanted to say, you know, on behalf of the RBIO Baseball Mom, thank you for us and all of our other sponsors, but it's a pretty great picture. I'll pass it down so everybody can see it. Our team did really well last year, and we're hoping we do well this year too. So thank you.
As advertised, hearing will be held on ordinance number 2531 entitled Calendar Year 2026 Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
I'd like to entertain a motion to declare the time for the public hearing to be declared open.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to be heard? See, we are allowing everybody.
No, we do it at the end though. Usually we make the comments, we do it at the end.
Change is good.
It's in the agenda, everybody.
But we don't know what you're gonna say to
It's
comment.
just to clarify, is it specifically on
On this motion.
this motion?
No one? So we'd like. Motion to close.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it ordained by the Borough Council, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield, that an ordinance entitled Calendar Year 2026 Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank introduced on the 23rd day of March 2026, to now pass a final reading and be adopted, and that the Borough Clerk be and she is authorized and directed to publish once the aforesaid title together with notice of date of its passage on final reading and approval thereof on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Here.
Councilman Rowe.
No.
Councilman Conklin Haley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar.
Yes.
Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
As advertised, hearing will be held on ordinance number 2532 entitled Bond Ordinance to authorize the making of a public improvement and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery and new communication and signal systems equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Ridgefield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $135,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Roll call. And entertain a motion to declare the time for the public hearing to be declared open.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody?
Warren Vincent, and thank you for hearing comments on ordinances. Is this a payment of what would be previously notes, and now we're going to shift the expense in the budget to pay off the bond, which is a good thing when you think about the budget, because basically you're reducing your cost and you're getting rid of debt and you're proposing a long-term solution to reducing the expenditures of the future by reissuing or issuing new bonds to take over these, I'm going to say notes because I don't see the there. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. It looks to me like it's a good move in the right direction for a good budget. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to
Wait, did we get an
entertain a
answer?
motion to declare the time for public hearing declared closed.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it ordained by the Borough Council, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield, that an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to authorize the making of a public improvement and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and single systems equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Ridgefield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $135,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, introduced on the 23rd day of March 2026, do now pass final reading and be adopted, and that the Borough Clerk be and she is authorized and directed to publish once the aforesaid title together with the notice of date its passage on final reading and approval thereof on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes.
Councilwoman Constance Haley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jabbar?
Yes.
Councilman Martucci?
Yes.
As advertised, hearing will be held on ordinance number 2533 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 375 vehicles and traffic, article 20 permit parking, section 375-61 resident parking program.
Thank you. Motion to declare open the public hearing?
Motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody like to? Okay. Like to?
Hello again. There was some earlier comments on this expenditure and suggestions on restructuring it. Will that be taken into consideration?
Warren, state your name for the record.
Certainly. Warren Vincent. And for the record, there was some earlier discussion on this ordinance, and I'm asking, will the suggestions be taken into consideration before you implement this ordinance? Or even before you vote on it tonight? And one of the suggestions was $10 a household. Am I right?
That's correct.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. You know, you can comment too. You get two swings, you get two swings.
She's recovering. She's injured today. She can't
Okay? So that, will you reconsider it, or are you gonna go ahead and vote
We're
on it?
going to go to a vote tonight.
You're gonna go to vote?
Yes.
All yours.
Debbie from 9602 Elm Avenue. I don't disagree with $10 a car. We have a neighborhood where we have cars that there's some households that have 6 cars, that have 8 cars. Why should I pay the same thing as other people who have cars, a numerous amount of cars? I happen to pay taxes on my house that's appraised higher because I have a 2-car garage and I have a 2-car driveway. I pay a lot more than most people that have no driveway or maybe no garage. It's time to start hitting people for what they're getting instead of hitting everyone for what people are getting. It's time to start paying for what you want. If you have a car, some people still have adult children and they have 5, 6 cars. Why should I have to pay more? You're taxing me out of my town that I grew up in, that my father grew up in, that my grandmother and grandfather were in. If you want something, unfortunately, you have to pay for it. And this is something that I agree with. I pay more because I have more parking on my property. Thank you.
I just also want to mention, I think Ridgefield is the only town in all of the surrounding towns that does not charge for municipal parking anywhere. So I just also want to state that for the record.
Lisa Hoffman, 823 London Avenue. I don't disagree with Debbie said. My point is, when this was first put in, we were told it's going to be a one-time fee, we're not going to have it. If you didn't say that, it'd be a different story, right? And I understand people may have changed, but collectively, as the mayor and council, you made a promise to the people, and now you're reneging on it. And there are people in this room, I know a lot of people in Ridgefield who have lost their jobs since the beginning of the year. I know a lot of seniors who are really struggling because our electricity has doubled. Not everybody has a driveway. Do they pay more? Yeah, okay. But we don't say not everybody uses the pool, so let's charge people $5,000 to join the pool, because that would be ridiculous, right? It's, if you look at the percentage of people who do that, and then we collectively take that as a whole. We don't say only the senior citizens, you have to be over 65 to be a senior citizen, so if you want to be part of the senior citizens, and X amount to have the community center would cost, this much money, or you have a kid in baseball and divide it out. Or you have a kid in the school system, so you, with a kid in the school system, should pay for your kid, which would be thousands of dollars more. That's not how communities work. That's not collectively how government works, right? If so, there's a longer thing there. My point is that had you never said this in the first place, and when I say you, I mean everyone, it would be a different story. So I really think it should be reconsidered, considering the economy right now, and there are other ways that you could go and make up that money. And you are already raising the taxes, right? So for the tenants who are locked into leases and it's rent controlled, that is not changing. But for the people, specifically the seniors who live here, you already, our taxes are gonna go up about $1,000 a year. So it's $1,000 plus the cars, plus everything else that's being nickel and dime.
Anyone else on this? Like to, motion to declare it closed.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it ordained by the Borough Council of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield that an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending Chapter 375 Vehicles and Traffic, Article 20 Permanent Parking, Section 375-61 Resident Parking Program, introduced on the 23rd day of March 2026, to now pass final reading and be adopted, that the Borough Clerk be and she is authorized and directed to publish once the aforesaid title, together with the notice date of its passage on final reading and approval thereof on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes.
Councilman Conklin Haley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar?
Yes.
Councilman Martucci?
Yes.
Introduction on ordinance number 2534. Be it ordained by the Borough Council of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 355 of the Code of the Borough of Ridgefield entitled Public Swimming Pools, introduced on the 13th day of April 2026, to now pass the first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage after public hearing at a meeting of the Borough Council to be held at the Municipal Complex, 700 Shella Boulevard, on the 27th day of April 2026 at 6:30 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov, said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage. And this ordinance also has an amendment because I inadvertently left off senior citizen, age 62 plus, the discount period and regular rates will be $110 for the discount period, $135 for the regular season, and for the friendly neighbor, the senior citizen 62 plus, will be $160 for the discount period and $185 for the regular season.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes.
Councilman Conklin Haley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar?
Yes.
Councilman Martucci?
This is the amended version, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Introduction of ordinance 2535. Be it ordained by the Borough Council of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 183, Article 4, Recreation and Parks Department, Section 183-12 of the Code of the Borough of Ridgefield, introduced on the 13th day of April 2026, to now pass the first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage after public hearing at a meeting of the Borough Council to be held at the Municipal Complex, 700 Shella Boulevard, on the 27th day of April 2026 at 6:30 p.m., or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. That the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov, said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes.
Councilman Conklin Haley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar?
Yes.
Councilman Martucci?
Yes.
Next is the introduction of ordinance 2536. Be it ordained by the Borough Council of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 275, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking, Stopping, and Standing on Specific Streets of the Code of the Borough of Ridgefield, introduced on the 13th day of April 2026, to now pass the first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage after public hearing at a meeting of the Borough Council to be held at the Municipal Complex, 700 Shell Boulevard, on the 27th day of April 2026 at 6:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov, said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Compton Haley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar.
Yes.
Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
Consent agenda. All items listed are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Borough Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the council members so request, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. One motion signifies the adoption of all resolutions and approval of applications and minutes. 127, appoint standing committee finance. 128, veterans exemption refund, block 207, lot 26. 129, amended developers agreement, 1099 Hendricks Causeway. 130, 2026, donate vehicle to countywide emergency response team. 131, 2026, dispose of equipment. 132, 2026, appointment to Board of Health. 133, 2026, professional service agreement, Neglia Group, site assessment report, about review survey. 134, 2026, hire recreation instructors, referees, approval of meeting minutes, March 11th, 2026, and March 23rd, 2026, public session meetings, travel license application, Ridgefield Memorial High School PTA Carnival, April 29th, 2026, 6 to 11 p.m., April 30th, 2026, 6 to 11 p.m., May 1st, 2026, 6 p.m. to midnight, May 2nd, 2026, 2 p.m. to midnight, May 3rd, 2026, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Madam Chair, I would like to request to pull resolution number 132 as of the chair of the Health Committee. This time, like multiple candidates are highly interested in this position, and I do believe that the fairness, fair process, and the equal opportunity will apply into this process. So I would like to, again, since I'm the chair of the Health Committee, I would like to ask you to pull this resolution so Health Committee can rediscuss about this matter. So we'll be able to provide proper recommendation to Mayor so he can make the best decision for everybody. Fair decision.
Councilman Rue, did you want to pull it off the agenda or off the consent agenda to discuss?
I would like to,
pull it off the agenda today. And again, it's now we come back to the committee, we're gonna rediscuss about it. Because the three of us didn't have a chance to discuss about this one.
We need a motion and a second to remove it.
Motion?
So what's the motion?
To remove it off of the agenda.
I would just like to say, in the past, were there interviews held for positions like this ever? And, because I believe you've been involved in it for a long time, right? So were there interviews and discussions among the committee, or were they just appointed by the members?
as I mentioned before, we have a multiple candidate. It's not only like a single candidate. That's the reason why it need to be fairly elected. And then being a family member of current mayor council should not be major benefit for the particular individual. That's what I would like to to point it out. And if the other person doesn't get the same benefit or same opportunities, obviously this is not a fair process.
I'm just gonna have to disagree with you because there's multiple members on committees right now that are relatives or related. I don't know why this keeps doing that. I can talk louder, but there's multiple members on many committees that are family members, related to members of the council or past members of the council. And this is how I was interested in joining a committee
multiple candidates. Okay, and I do believe that all of those candidates should have equal opportunities and also deserve for fair process.
Is there a second?
Second. Let's vote.
Roll call for the removal of Resolution 132 from the agenda. Councilman Raimondo?
No.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes.
Councilman Congalton Haley?
No.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar?
Abstain?
Councilman Martucci?
No.
Okay, so roll call on the consent agenda as presented. Councilman Raimondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes, except resolution number 132, I vote for no.
Councilwoman Congalton Haley?
Yes, and I would like to make a comment on 130. It's a positive comment. I wanted to thank Countywide Response for all of the work that they've done with our borough. Thank them for all of the response that they've made to all of our emergencies. I was there with you guys last year when we had the accident into the building at Broad and Maple. We are very excited that you're going to be repurposing the squad car, and I'm looking forward to having it come back in a positive way, and hopefully we won't need it in an emergency. So thank you all for coming out tonight. It's really nice to see such a great showing. But yes to everything.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes to everything except the one that I just say no, and then just wanted to make a comment.
What number was that one?
That
You
one
have to
was
say the number.
132-2026,
John.
appointment Board of Health. I believe in fair process, regardless what, end of the political spectrum you're from. That's what I fought ever since I got elected. I was treated unfairly. I was excluded from the process. And to me, if there are other candidates for this position, I think the fair, interview or whatever discussion needs to be done. And Colin, he's the chair of the Board of Health. If he says that there was no process, then I think it's problematic. We need to observe fair process no matter what.
Councilman Jafar?
Yes, I abstain from 132. So yes for all, and abstain for 132.
Councilman Martucci?
Yes, and I just want to make a comment on 127, and welcome Joanna to the Finance Committee.
I'm thrilled to be joining you, Chris. I'm going to do my very best. You guys know when I get called upon, I will step up and do whatever I can.
And regarding 132, the appointment of the committee members, so I don't disagree with a lot of what Councilwoman Kim said. However, that should then apply across the board, which it never did, ever, until this instance. And to me, it doesn't seem like it's motivated by fair and due process, more like certain individual wants to get a certain other individual appointed and not this individual. That's my opinion.
I just wanted to make one comment on the person that's interested in being on the health department is a third-year medical student, and I do believe who we do not get paid to be on these committees would be a huge asset to our health department to have a third-year medical student be part of that's where my decision came from.
I do not disrespect third-year medical student. However, on the health committee, we do not discuss about options of treatment. We do not discuss about types of medication. This is more like rules and regulation. We have an excellent health officer who has over 25 years of experience. We have one of the health committee member is also the professor of the nursing school, nursing college, who has over 25 years of experience. We have a pharmacist who has more than 30 years of experience. We have like a variety of people from different backgrounds. All together make the best decision for our town. Obviously, if you need to get a medical recommendation, you gotta go to see your own doctor. Again, I do not disrespect the medical college student. However, they may not be all we need to consider to select who's gonna be seated on the health committee. No matter what, I mean, whoever like apply for the seat position, they should be qualified. My point is fair process, fairness. Everybody who lives in Richfield have a right to get their equal opportunity. One of the other councilmen just mentioned about never happened before. How do you know? Bring the evidence. Maybe like not multiple candidates apply for one single position at that time. Maybe like it was ignored by your own people before. Again, I'm the chair of the health committee. I thought that there's a potential. So try to straight out. Sounds like there's only one person listening to what I'm saying.
So I want to make a comment on 127. The reason why we're even bringing up 127 is because last year's health committee chairman stepped down. So
32.
last year's chairman actually stepped down from the finance committee. So he actually abandoned the committee completely, left his responsibility, said, you know what, I'm gonna let my emotions take over. I'm gonna look at everybody in this room and say, I stepped down. And I got replaced by a person that grew up in the town, that cares about the town, and took the position and assumed the role with the head held high, not cowered behind a podium and behind their clutched hands because they want to step into another role and say that the chairman of the finance committee steps down and now is the chairman of the health committee and is so highly esteemed for the health committee. So if you really cared about the community, you would not step down from the role that you were voted in. So you should look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Everything that I just said in regards to fairness, in regards to putting the justice of the people first, and look at why did I get voted in? I was the chairman of the finance committee last year. I got voted in from a man who actually has a better finance background, Mike Saeed, who should have won. And I got voted in. I stepped down from the finance chairman position. Now I leave the position open. 2 people are in there. I need to find another person to fill the role. And now I want to focus all my energy on the health committee. So where does this help the community of Richfield? Where is the head of the ex-finance committee? Where is your brain looking to help the community in taxes? Mr. Finance, Mr. Chairman of the REC, of the health committee. You stepped down from the position that you so-called had so much power and so much passion for, that you wanted to help out. And yet, you let a person who didn't have the chair position last year take the position because she knows what's right for Richfield. Because she does put the community first. Because she actually cares about the people. So she said, you know what? This position was left vacant, but I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna fill the role because the other person is so busy on the chair position of the health committee.
I don't think I deserve for your sarcastic. When I was the chair of the finance committee last year, we were able to hold our property tax below 1.7%. This year,
Colin,
is that, okay,
this is the.
please not disturb, this is my time. I was waiting for my turn.
It's not your time, it's the
So-
consent agenda we're discussing.
And also, we try to hold our property taxes under $150 increase for average household. This year, we are looking for 1,000, almost more than 7 or 8 times more. That's what I against it. However, they didn't listen to me. They didn't even consider my opinion. That's the reason why I decided to step down.
We gotta move on.
Resolution 135, 2026, be it resolved that warrants totaling $2,420,416.32 be drawn on the following accounts. Current, $2,396,794.36. Trust, $17,458.15. Pool, $3,028.81. Color, $3,135. Total, $2,420,416.32.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rowe?
Yes.
Councilman Conklin Hanley?
Yes.
Councilman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar?
Yes.
Councilman Martucci?
Yes.
Comments by the council? Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter and was able to spend time with their family and friends. It was great to see many residents out celebrating for the community. I had the opportunity to attend the fire department's Fish and Chips event, which was a great success. Thank you to our volunteers for putting that together. It was also nice to see the community come out to support our fire department. We also had a great turnout for the Easter egg hunt. Events like this really show the strong sense of community we have here. I want to thank everyone who helped organize and participated in our hunt. On our public safety side, the police department has completed the written examination process as well as the physical evaluations. The next phase will be the interviews, which will be taking place on May 4th and May 6th, I believe. We look forward to continuing the process and bringing the qualified candidates to serve our community. Thank you, everybody.
So just a couple of updates. I tend to have a lot of information based on the different committees. I first wanted to start by acknowledging a friend in the room. A couple of years ago when I first got on the council, Claudia Narvaez, who is a former board member, came to me and she said, we have to do something to unite and teach our children about municipal government. We actually were in this parking lot at the high school, and it was 3 years ago that we started this fantastic idea of having students come in and doing field trips to Borough Hall. This is the 4th year in a row that we are doing it, and I just had our high school group come in about 2 weeks ago, and I have to tell you that it restored so much of my faith in the youth of our community. Usually our students will come in and they're like, get rid of the nature center, put up a mall, we want a Target. This year's high school students spoke to me about how do we get the school to help students pay for their AP examinations, to encourage more students to participate in AP classes, of which the Board of Education was already taking care of, so thank you guys. They came in and they said, why don't we have an ambulance corps? And we had a phenomenal conversation about municipal services and what it really means to have support and volunteerism in our community. I also had one of those high school students reach out to me and say, how can I become an EMT? I hear so much, especially on the internet, you're on social media, everyone's behind a keyboard. They're saying, kids don't go outside. I am telling you, the 40 students from Ridgefield Memorial High School who were here with me for the tour of Borough Hall and Officer Greg, and they saw the police department, truly care and are not just sitting there ignoring their community. They were talking about the potholes on Day Avenue. Have you ever had a 15-year-old talk to you about potholes on Day Avenue? Which I know, DPW, we are taking care of. You guys are great. I appreciate you. And I told the students that. They talked about a pedestrian bridge from Willis to Willis Field over Grand Avenue because it's hard if you're a high school student and you want to go to your high school football game. All of these really great ideas. It felt like I was in a room of peers, of adults. It was really, really fantastic. So I wanted to share that with our community, that our children are thoughtful, that our high school is doing a phenomenal job of raising intellectual, intelligent, well-educated young people. So I commend them. I commend all of our high school students who came by. Very excited for our 8th graders to come to Borough Hall later this week. They are usually a little more creative in their ideas, but I'll share that with you at our next meeting. RBAO opening day for this season is Saturday, April 25th. We will have our parade. We will have our marching of our teams from the community center all the way over to 5 Fireman's Field. Games started this past weekend, so the teams are really excited. Uniforms were distributed. Like I said, mayor and council team, our first game is this Saturday. I'll share the information with everybody. It would be great to have some support of our 8U team. Mayor Hugo is throwing out the first baseball pitch. I'll be throwing out the first softball pitch. But a couple years ago, we did have all of the mayor and council members throw out pitches. So those of you who used to play baseball, get your arms ready. Just saying, looking at 2 of you.
Maybe Hugo can pitch to me.
See, I think that's it. We've got the catcher's gear, but it's for an 8-year-old, so I don't know. We might have to look for.
No, I mean, I'll be the batter.
Oh Lord, here we go. I wanted to say a couple of personal thank yous for our Recreation Egg Hunt. It's an amazing event. Again, another free event that we provide to our children, our community. Many thanks to Jamie Parisma, Steph Aponte, Michelle Azate, John Corregna, Joe Aponte, Cassie and Herb Gonzalez, Amanda Courts, Ray and Sharon Ramirez. If you saw all those beautiful baskets that we had, our beautiful bunny baskets, Sharon went out and got a ton of donations, so we had more baskets. Lots of children went home very happy from our event. Mike Toledo, Kathy Pairley, Billy and Carol Henderson, Scott Russo, thank you for making sure the Easter Bunny made his appearance. I heard there was a little bit of a tail malfunction, but we made it work. Chief Russo always makes sure our bunny gets there. And also thanks to my dad who came out of Rec Commission retirement to help with security at the event too. And a couple of our mayor and council members also attended the event. It's always nice to have that support. So thank you, Mayor Hugo, Council President Gino, and Councilman Chris. It was nice to see you guys there too. Thank you, Company 2, great fish and chips. And what was really nice about the event, the winning was spread out around the room. So you didn't feel like one table won everything, although my 8-year-old baseball player is very excited that we won the baseball tickets. So he's been talking about it nonstop. We'll have to send you guys the pictures. It is Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. You will notice that our Autism Awareness Month banner is out of retirement. It is back up on the fence by Veterans Field. We are thrilled. Our volunteerism for the fire department banner is up by Willis, so we are still advertising for both. We are going to be continuing our Autism Awareness Month projects with the Ridgefield CPAC, the Special Education Parent Advisory Group, and we hope to have our Autism Awareness Month proclamation at our next meeting. The rates for the pool and summer camp session remain some of the most affordable in the county. So I know we talk a lot about how much costs are going up. It is not easy to balance municipal services and what we offer to our community and paying our staff. For many of us up here, summer camp is our first job. Being a lifeguard in this town is our first job. I was an employee of Ray's before I got to sit here and before our kids got to be friends. And Sharon, we always had our lifeguard versus counselors competitions and all that great stuff. It is not easy to be the young adult in charge of children, and we pay them minimum wage to keep our most precious commodities, our most precious part of our community safe.
Just to note, minimum wage is $15 an hour.
Yes, yeah, it's gone up quite a
$16
bit.
an hour now, so that we don't really have a choice there. I used to make $7, so.
$5.25.
I know, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Sharon made $4.25 her first year. I was $5.25 my first year, and I was super excited for that $300 check every 2 weeks.
Yep.
It doesn't go as far anymore. So these are the people who keep my baby safe. I trust this program. I trust Debbie's leadership. It was phenomenal to see my boys and how much they really love her. And they like to trick or treat to her house. That's how much they miss her during the school year. So Debbie, don't go too far. Hang out with us in the summer. We'll need you. Also, Ridgefield Schools International Festival is May 29th. I am the co-chair for advertising and fundraising again, so you'll be seeing lots of flyers and information from me on that. All are welcome. Mayor Hugo has promised us that he will participate in our fashion show again, and the schools are doing the Community Member of the Year Award again this year, so nominations for that will be opening up soon. Please think about those community members who really go above and beyond, who really step up and, do more than what's expected of them. And then also, thank you to those who attended the Ecumenical Crosswalk on Good Friday. It was a really nice event. It was a little drizzly, but it wasn't too bad. That cross was heavy, but it was nice to see all of our religious groups in town come together. And I think that's it. Thank you. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you all at opening day.
Just want to say everyone, the crosswalk was awesome. I'm not Christian, I'm not Catholic, but you know, I always go every year, and I go with my mom, I go with my cousins, and I just love to go to every church in town. You know, the churches are really beautiful, and we're lucky to have so many, you know, spread out and really taken care of by the people who actually attend them. So that was nice. Like I said, I don't celebrate Easter, but my family does, so basically I do celebrate Easter. I don't even know, it's kind of crazy, honestly. And being half Dominican and half Lebanese, it's kind of, you know, it's a very interesting mix. So, you know, we have a Christmas tree up, and I'm Muslim, so like, it's like, you know, so it was nice to be able to be in a town where I can just be myself, you know, and that's a place where I love, you know, that's why I'm up here, and I just want to echo on everything. I know I'm just kind of rambling, but, you know, Bridgefield and everything we do up here, all this arguing, it's for the betterment of the town, you know, regardless of it looking like, oh, maybe this guy's going at him personally or not. Like, that's not the case with me, I can tell you that. But, you know, it's always for Richfield. Regardless of what I say, what I do, it's always for this town. It's always number one for the community of Richfield and for you guys. So, you know, whatever I'm gonna do, you know, in regards to following up on our behavior up here, I'm sorry if it got a little loud, but, you know, we just want to get things done. And Chris wants to get things done, Joanna wants to get things done, Gino wants to get things done, Sarah wants to get things done, I hope Colin wants to get things done, but, you know, I do want to get things done. So, you know, I'm just letting you guys all know DPW is in good hands this year. I hope you guys saw a shift in whatever your concerns were, because ever since taking over the leadership role and trying to follow up with what responses that the community has, you can keep giving them to us, keep giving them to me, and we're gonna try to handle everything that we can. So I'm an open line of contact. So next, I believe, I don't know when the next meeting is, but next meeting, hopefully it won't be as, you know, heightened as this. So have a great day, guys. Thank you guys for coming.
Ray? No comment? Colin?
Yes, again, like, you know, I brought up my concerns again to tonight's meeting is because I'm not talking about person, I'm talking about process, procedure. I'm talking about which is right, which is wrong. So, as I mentioned before, mistakenly, some wrong things happened in the past. So should we continue? Once it's found out, we should fix it. We have to move our town, our system toward the right thing, not keeping our system in the wrong thing, wrong side. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know who the family member is. I just heard good things about. I'm sure she could be a very good candidate. However, multiple candidates, we need to select equally, fairly. I was a little disappointed that I was personally attacked tonight by councilperson who's been emphasizing importance of diversity. I think the diversity is coming out from respecting each other. We start to respect each other. That's how we're gonna create great diversity in our town. Again, something might be forgotten, didn't catch one time. Well, if you guys want to look for some better things, this is a time to straight up fix it, rather than just keep carrying on. That's what I would like to talk about, and that's what I try to point it out. And hopefully there will be more people who will listen to me, more than one person.
I just want to say, Colin, I understand what you're saying.
No, Chris,
Go ahead.
Sarah?
Good evening. Good to see all of you. As what Councilman Mo Tafar said, yeah, saw us having different opinions. But I believe that it's for the betterment of the town. Most of us are, have been elected less than 2 years. We're still learning. And I can just speak from my own experience, how I was treated. The past 2 years, I've been saying that I was excluded from the process. I was not asked for my opinion on certain things. And that's why, that's something that we need to fix. And I am working together with my colleagues, who got fairly newly elected, to change. And we're, still in disagreement, but I'm sure, we'll, I believe in the process. As long as we have a strong, fair process, we'll have a good outcome. And just as a chairperson of the fire committee, I want to give you updates on our activities. Year to date, in this year, 129 calls for service we got. And since April 1st, we have 10 calls for service. And of those 10, 2 are natural gas emergencies, 2 are carbon monoxide emergencies, and 1 structure fire where we assisted neighboring Cliffside Park at their full alarm fire. Again, I'm giving you this update to show how hard our volunteers at the fire department are working. They deserve our appreciation. We need to commend them for all the work, all the commitment they have given to us. They're not regular employees, but regardless, they're putting their lives on the line for us, for our safety. I cannot, and on behalf of our mayor and council, we cannot thank enough for their dedication and commitment. And also just to thank, again, fire company number 2 for excellent job they did for fish and chips. It was phenomenal, very professional, very fun night, and I commend for the result that you guys got. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I want to start, maybe a couple of comments were made, so I might have some answers for those, or at least clarification. Regarding the bikes in the park, my understanding is there's a zone where bikes are not allowed in the park. I could let Kenny maybe speak on that a little bit more, but I know that there's a section of the park where bikes aren't allowed. So if there's a bike literally in the playground area, that is, my understanding is definitely not allowed.
So there's 5 thermoplastic stripes and or semicircles. That's the area where bikes are not allowed to be operated. They're supposed to be walked. No electronic or gas-powered motors, mopeds, bicycles, or items are allowed in the park whatsoever. And it's clearly posted. We just have to work on the enforcement.
Yeah, thank you. We went to space. Anybody see that? That was pretty cool, right? Successful landing. Very happy. Saw that live. Hope everybody got a chance to see that. But broke the record, I believe, for the number of miles traveled in space. So I'll go to, since I'm the chair of the finance committee, I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that were brought up. Regarding the issuance of some debt for the fire equipment and the park pavilion, we do have grant money for that. It will be a 50% match, but what we have to do is we have to issue the debt first, finish the project, and then we get reimbursed at the end of the project. So that is related to the stage, like picnic area over there by the youth center. That's going to be a whole new pavilion, and the grant actually expires at the end of this year. So if we don't do it this year, we lose out on the grant money. So we have to get that moving. Environmental progress started on the new town garden behind the community center. We're working through that. We actually met on site with the borough engineer. So myself, Ray, Nestor, and the borough engineer, we went out there. We were out there for almost 3 hours, walking through with him. He's working on getting the paperwork together, and we will be acquiring a permit for that, to build that and, make sure that we're following all the rules, regulations, and restrictions within that area. We're looking to purchase a ton of trees to start planting them along the streets and also in certain areas where we cut down in like big open areas. So the environmental is working to purchase native trees, not non-native trees. That'll all be coming majority out of the trust fund, the Shade Tree Trust Fund. So it won't be the borough's money. Regarding DPW, just to go off of what Mo said, the lighting within on the fields and the park and down by the new pickleball courts, I believe the DPW building inside, a ton of all over. It's all in the works. That's a program being done through PSE&G. The contractor has to go through PSE&G, so there's a lot of paperwork involved. I just spoke with him for like the 10th time today to see where we're at with that regarding getting the official approval, because they need to get an approval from PSE&G to get a reimbursement before they can start the work. So we're pushing for that. It's going to get done. All new LED lighting, low, very energy efficient. So that's where the reimbursement comes in from PSE&G. A notice went out too, I think, regarding recycling, making sure your boxes are neatly either tied up or stacked in a nice orderly fashion so that they're not scattered everywhere. Just wanted to kind of readdress that, right? Make sure everybody, I think most people do a really good job, but apparently there are areas out there where it's just a mess and they won't pick it up if it's like a mess. So just so everybody's aware. The $600,000 grant from the federal government that we just received, a big check. You can't go to the bank and just cash that thing. I don't know where the money is. We were told we got it. It's just a big check right now, and there's no $600,000. So I would have loved to start the process of bidding for the roof, but we can't do that until we physically have the money. So I think we're looking into that. I actually asked the CFO today about it, so hopefully we'll have an update on that. The Veterans Flags program. I think we got like 50 submissions, so we're really excited for that. I believe tomorrow we're gonna place the order with the vendor. They should all be in, everything we have up until this point should be in by Memorial Day, hopefully for the parade. So we're planning to kind of line the parade route with the flags, and it'll be a really nice event. It's gonna be really nice, it'll look great.
Just a quick note on that, if you had submitted a veteran, you will have gotten an email regarding payment through Community Pass. If you didn't, you can email that email address directly or reach out to the Recreation Department and we'll give you a call back, okay? So if you didn't hear back on your payment, please reach out and we'll make sure that we get that over to you. Payments are going through Community Pass. We're also accepting checks in some capacity, but make sure that you take care of that. Sorry, Chris.
No, thank you for mentioning that. So that's a big detail. Easter egg hunt was great. I think it was maybe record breaking from what I understand. We almost had to run to the store and get more eggs. I don't think we ended up having to do that, and I think it was less eggs than last year. So beautiful day. I don't know if it was just the timing, but it was a great event. So I'm really happy with that. And the ecumenical walk was great as well. We stopped at 4 churches, had a little ceremony and reached them with a couple of prayers, and it's a really nice thing to be a part of. So I think that pretty much covers it for me. Yep. Rich, can you just, my prayers go out to the woman that you were referring to. Can you just please keep us posted on that? Thank you.
I will, thank you.
Also, just would like to mention one of our past fire chiefs could use our prayers right now, and I'd like to thank Chief Russo to, he went and visited Charlie Moods at his nursing home, and I believe this week we'll be bringing the fire truck for him to see from his room. Thank you, Dan.
And is this gonna be
Motion to-
the new, like the new format, that there's gonna be comments on everything in the beginning, and then there's going to be comments on each ordinance before it's addressed? Is that gonna be how it is in the future too? Cause it just keeps changing.
So
every-
I just wanna say one thing on that. I think the mayor can change it at his discretion. I believe that's the rules or ordinance, so the mayor can change it at their discretion.
Maybe if it could just be publicly announced, like I read the thing, but if it could just be publicly announced, because I think everybody here was confused as to like when we could talk, when we couldn't, what was
Yeah,
happening.
I understand. I believe that's the ordinances, the mayor can change it at their discretion.
Okay.
So when Hugo gets back, I can't tell you what he's thinking right now.
So I would like to make a comment about that too, and also appreciate, you know, our, those who came up to make a comments about the public, you know, hearing or comments. To be honest with you, it's something that some of us are puzzled as well. But one thing that we can give you, we can make, you know, make sure is that we're not here to block your, you know, comments or anything like that. That would be the last thing that we would agree to do. So I think there's some confusion, misunderstanding. We will work it out, and then, you know, we hear you and we are with you, and we'll make adjustments.
Yeah, and just to reiterate off that, I think Mo said it too. You can email me anytime. My email, all of our emails are right on the website. I'll give it to you personally if you want. Phone number. Some of you in here daily, I get messages. So we, you know, and I respond. So anybody here will tell you that, you know, I do get back to you. So.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.